Number one, it is so loud on this ship. It's so overstimulating. The nonsense being pumped into every room, every hall, every dining room that you enter. I swear I sat on a chair and the music got louder yesterday. People on this cruise ship continue to give me dirty looks everywhere I go because I have my phone on the gimbal, recording myself because they've seen my videos. I promise I will give you that energy back tenfold.
We have a major conundrum to discuss in regards to a world cruise that is currently taking place right now. However, this is not just any world cruise, it's the ultimate world cruise by Royal Caribbean. They are currently in the process of conducting a 274-night or 9-month-long cruise on Serenade of the Seas. Now, this ship is a little seasoned, launched in the year 2002, holds just under 2,500 passengers. Now, as far as the chaos that has been allegedly going on this ship, the most trusted site in all of the interwebs, TikTok, has been getting plenty of documentations and video surfacing of storms on board and disagreements and hate. And well, I have to say that a lot of it, in my personal opinion, based off of what I have seen, has been somewhat blown out of proportion. Why? Because some genius decided that they wanted to put influencers, and I'm talking about real influencers, not like me, people that will essentially do anything for $1, in which a company will pay for a vacation for somebody or give them a little bit of money to sway whatever content in the way that the person that is paying them wants, whether it be to promote a certain brand or to maybe just provide some type of entertainment, which we will elaborate in this video. So here's a little context about this 9-month cruise, as well as some of the issues that have taken place. That way we are all somewhat on the same page. Serenade of the Seas started its 9-month cruise about a month ago on December 10th, leaving out of Miami. What you have to understand about these world cruises is that a portion of the people, the passengers on board, aren't staying for the 9 months. You can essentially purchase a leg, a portion, or a section of the world cruise if it is going to a part of the world in which you want to visit and sail around. For example, right now, from my understanding, it was doing a Latin America and making its way over to Antarctica for this portion of the sailing that's taken place. Unfortunately, throughout this sailing of them going to Antarctica, they ran into an area known as the Drake Passage, known as some of the roughest seas on Earth. The ship got caught in a storm over in that area, causing flooding and damage to the ship, and there has been emergency evacuations and people that are not feeling so well. And well, as somebody that has been to Antarctica, I gotta say that personally, I'm not surprised. Obviously, dealing with a storm on board a cruise ship, depending on your personal tolerance and severity of said storm, can be a little scary for some people. Some people can get seasick, and it doesn't matter where you are, whether it be a cruise to the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, or in this particular case, a cruise through the Drake Passage as you make your way over to Antarctica. However, I do believe that it is important to note and understand that there are differences in the cruise line that I sailed with to get to Antarctica versus Royal Caribbean and Serenade of the Seas. I sailed with an expedition company known as Atlas Ocean, where their ships are specifically designed to handle the severity of the tough winds and storms and weather to get over to Antarctica, versus Serenade of the Seas that was more so created to go to places like the Caribbean, Mediterranean, warmer climates. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't exactly need a ship capable of breaking through ice to get over to Antarctica. However, the design structure is going to make for a potentially smoother sailing. The ship that I sailed on was a lot smaller. It only held, I believe, 175 passengers, whereas, like I said, with Serenade of the Seas, a little older, and it holds about 2,500 passengers, which does make a difference. At this point in time, due to the weather being so severe, Serenade of the Seas is rerouting. They are changing their itinerary and will no longer be going into that specific part over in the Antarctic Oceans, which I do understand, because there is a reason why expedition cruises go over there. Expedition, from my understanding, this is what we were told when I sailed with Atlas Ocean to Antarctica, expedition means if possible. Going to Antarctica is not your standard route. Things change. When you get over to that area, there's icebergs and pieces of ice that have essentially shifted over and changed. You can't just sail the same route back and forth. Meaning, if things are not exactly ideal and you don't have the ship capable of navigating through it efficiently, then it's almost impossible responsible, or you're potentially setting up for a little bit of trouble. Now, to add to this situation, there are companies, whether it be Royal Caribbean themselves, which I'm not surprised, as well as other sponsored companies that decided to bring in some Gen Zers, kids, if you will. And when I say kids, I mean adults that are in their very, very early 20s, or maybe like the 19 through 21 age, that are popular on TikTok. One of which is a influencer known as Sebastian. He has 1.2 million followers on TikTok. One thing you have to understand about TikTok, as well as I would loop Instagram in as well, is that it's primarily for creating short form content. Short form content is videos that you see within the range of about anywhere between 10 seconds to 60 seconds. And well, usually people don't even stick around for that long, because naturally you're going to see a lot of younger people enjoying that content. And as we know, most people these days have the attention span of a goldfish. A video like this is considered long form content. It is a very simple formula. You want to either create shock value, something extremely interesting or unique. That way you can appease the viewer to stick around a little bit longer. The influencers that they brought on this 9-month long, and I believe they're only staying for like 18 days, and that costs within the range of like $8,000 or $9,000. They brought them on board to experience the life, or at least a portion of a 9-month cruise. Do keep in mind, this is an older ship, launched in 2002, and there's not a lot of crazy amenities that are going to be on board this ship that will appease somebody that is, I guess, somewhat younger, unless they have a real love and attraction and wanting to go over to a place like Antarctica. Since there isn't much to do, you have people like this Sebastian guy that says he's going to cause chaos, and that he is, I guess, hoping somebody falls or jumps off the cruise ship and he wants to film it. Just take a look at this video clip.
Put cameras on that damn cruise. Put cameras on that ship right now. What do you mean there's a town hall people aren't being invited to? It's a cruise. What do you mean that the Pinnacle members are being treated differently? There's a caste system being formed? You haven't even been on there for 2 weeks. It's so haunted. There's going to be mutiny. There's going to be blood. Someone is going overboard. I want to watch. Bravo, where are you? I need eyes. We're witnessing Fire Festival, Alabama Rush, and no one is rushing there. Put me in. Alternatively, put me on the cruise. I'll go. If you pay for one section, I will go. I will cause chaos. I will wreak havoc, and I'll record everything. Let me tell you something. If you're on that cruise right now, film everything. Because in a year from now, when they come knocking and say, hey, we're actually making a documentary about that cruise you went on, they're going to want exclusive footage, and you're going to be able to sell it to them. You want to pay for your ticket? That's how you do it.
Apparently, there is also controversy about the Pinnacle members. These are the highest ranking loyalty status people for Royal Caribbean. And naturally, they're going to get certain benefits and perks that the regular people wouldn't get. And there are people out there that are on board that ship right now that have a problem with that. Meanwhile, if you go to any airline, Starbucks, a lot of companies and businesses that, especially service businesses, they're going to offer some type of bonus for you to be a loyalty member. I don't understand why that's such a big deal. Overall, I would say that, with the exception of maybe like the Storm, I guess, because it's a ship that's normally in the Caribbean going to Antarctica, and the flooding, it has been relatively uneventful on board this world cruise. The reason that it's getting a lot of views and eyeballs and ears on it is because there are a lot of TikTokers and younger people that normally don't cruise on board this ship, and it's garnering tens of millions of views, which I guess you could argue is not bad for Royal Caribbean at all. Oftentimes when you go on a Royal Caribbean ship, especially a new one, like for example Icon coming out in 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot of people that have never been on a cruise ship before but have upwards of 500,000 to millions of followers online, and Royal Caribbean has paid them to go and talk about how nice everything is and to hype it up, because the audience of the influencer that they have hired is not associated with cruising. There's a reason why they don't hire people like me, which I don't have a problem with. I have no problem paying for my cruises. But when you bring people like this on that are not knowledgeable on, let's say, the cruise ship industry at all, everything that may happen from a storm to, let's say, a change in itinerary is the end of the world, or the second Titanic. It happens all the time, and I see it all over online, and it's not a big deal at all, but this is just kind of something that comes with the territory of this internet world. This is probably the last time I talk about this world cruise situation, unless something insane happens, which I seriously doubt. I've just been getting messages and emails all over the place about this particular cruise, people asking me to talk about it, and here you go, guys. This is it. I honestly don't think it's a really big deal. It's just younger people that are not used to this environment that are talking about it, and that's all that it is, my personal opinion. But who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below, guys. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.